All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. This is a regularly scheduled board meeting of the Edgewood City School District. Mrs. Bowers, will you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Ashcraft.
Present.
Mrs. Barnes.
Present.
Mr. Fall.
Present.
Mr. Messerschmidt.
Present.
Mr. Thomas.
Present.
Thank you. Now, will you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and then remain standing? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Remain standing, please, for the prayer.
Let's bow in prayer. Father in heaven, we thank you for this time to gather together. Be with us today as we seek your wisdom and guidance. We look to you, Lord, for strength and direction. We thank you for your leadership in our schools and community. You have blessed many with strong and necessary leadership. We thank you and pray for our school system here in Trenton, as well as schools across this nation that seek a path toward restraining unrighteous action and language while promoting good, honorable, and moral behavior in all the youth of this community and nation. We pray for our leaders today as they make decisions for our schools and community. We pray, God, that you bless them and lead them to righteous decisions, righteous direction, and righteous governance. Grant them wisdom and integrity as they look to make decisions for our wonderful school system here in Trenton. Let us pray that Trenton forms a foundation of truth, discernment, and authority that surrounding communities look to for strength and leadership. God, guide decisions tonight and going forward to be righteous in your sight and for the benefit of Edgewood City Schools. All authority is given by you, and we are all accountable to you, Lord. May our city be one of righteousness and godliness. I ask at this time, let's bow our heads and take a moment of silence as we remember the just young, amazing man, Mason Young, that passed away here recently. Thank you, Lord, be with us today. And we pray this in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen.
Thank you. All right, at this time, we'll look for a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
So moved.
Mr. Fall. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Thomas. Mrs. Bowers, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Fall.
Yes.
Mr. Thomas.
Yes.
Mrs. Ashcraft.
Yes.
Mrs. Barnes.
Yes.
Mr. Messerschmidt.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
All right, at this time we have some presentations. I believe that first is the Edgewood FFA 4-H presentation. We have the famous Kelly Weiser. Scott Clemens.
For sure. Well, I thank the board for giving us this opportunity tonight. You guys know in our community and stuff, 4-H and FFA is a huge part of what our kids do also, just like the sports teams that we bring in, 3 or 4 times a year to honor them. These young people, these families put a lot of time and effort, if not more than some of those. So if you are a 4-H member or an FFA member or an advisor, could you please stand for us? Guys come out to the fair and you see the time and energy that these young people put in this. It's amazing. I know for my family, it's been something that 12 years ago we started off with a bunny in a cage, and now we have turkeys, rabbits, pigs, goats, and cows. It's something that we get to enjoy as a family, and something we all enjoy doing. And Ms. Pfizer does a great job, and we look forward to their program this year and seeing what our FFA does and growing the 4-H program and building on that alumni base. I'll turn over to Ms. Pfizer at this time.
Thank you. So, as Mr. Clemens said, I'm Kelly Beiser. I'm the agricultural education teacher here at Edgewood and the FFA advisor. One of the tough things about tonight's presentation is that an overwhelming majority of our 4-H and FFA members at Edgewood City Schools are participating in other events right now. And so, I don't have an exact number between both organizations, but we know the reach is far. We know that the impact is deep. And so I did give students an opportunity to share some information with you on paper, a little bit about what their involvement is in 4-H and FFA, and also what it means to them. And so just to make sure that the students who cannot be here tonight are also still represented, I will allow you to pass this down. You're welcome to look at it at your leisure. I think that it just is one of the cool things about our programs is it gives students an opportunity to participate in another program that they can be proud of in. And so I wanted to still represent them tonight, even though they couldn't all be here with you as we do the presentation tonight. So as Mr. Clemens said, and you can see on that paper, we know that the impact is there. And it's tough to put that into words. I was talking to a parent in the lobby, and I said, well, gosh, if they give us the floor for the whole night, we might cover it. But we know that that's not the point. And so we hope that at any point you have the opportunity to interact with 4-H and FFA. Know that you're always welcome. Know that we want you there. We want you to learn what our students do and also celebrate their achievements with them. I can't speak for 4-H specifically. My role is more so with FFA. I'm a product of 4-H for sure. I believe in the program wholeheartedly. But I was able to pull some data on FFA. And what do our students do? Like, what's the impact of the program with our students and within our community? So some of the data we were able to pull from last year. Last year in FFA, we offered students here locally over 100 opportunities to participate. So some of that participation could be minimal, some of that could be again very extreme. But the opportunity is there, and students are definitely taking advantage of it. Last year, our students participated in over 2,800 hours of FFA events. And so when we talk about the impact of FFA being leadership and communication and team building and professionalism, outside of class time, we had over 2,800 hours of that last year. And so that's where the impact that you see on those papers, that's where it's coming from. Additionally, we had students participate in over 600 hours of community service. So they're gaining and they're giving back. And I think that that's to me as a teacher, one of the best things. Beyond just FFA, our students are developing technical skills and workforce skills. Last year, our students documented over 6,000 hours of work-based learning through our program. And so our goal, whether it be 4-H or FFA, and I know as you look around the room and see students here tonight who are in those programs, what you probably see are well-rounded individuals. We're able to develop students in the classroom, obviously, but programs like 4-H and FFA are most definitely doing a lot of work outside the classroom as well to hopefully prepare them for career and college in the future. So, do you have any questions that we can answer for you? Okay, very good. Well, thank you for your time. We appreciate your support. I mean, it makes all the difference. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, yeah.
I just want to thank you guys for coming. I know we always talk about recognizing a lot of our extracurricular activities. And I know Scott and I were just sitting on the bench at fair, which is a normal activity at the fair, but it's kind of like the Super Bowl of sports when it comes to fair. And a lot of people think it's for farm kids or traditionally for farm kids, and I think there's so many more now involved in everything from special interest projects to all kinds of extracurricular educational learning. As I mentioned, the volunteer hours, but the public speaking, the knowledge they gain in everything from not just animals, but special interest projects from small engines to sewing to cooking to, I mean, there's so many special interest projects now. It's a whole nother, in essence, summer school type activity that we're always trying to get education outside the classroom. So obviously our FFA is very involved in the school and we hear a lot about them, but we have a lot of involvement in 4-H as well. And Edgewood should be proud of all their leadership and involvement in that program as a whole. But together they make a lot of leaders in the schools here at Edgewood. So thank you for representing them and bringing light to that here at the board.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Beckett. Are you up next? All right. We're going to have an employee retirement recognition.
So tonight, we are going to honor our employees who have gone, they've gone the distance. They have spent, they came to Edgewood, or they came back to Edgewood and decided to make Edgewood their forever home. So tonight, we will honor 4 individuals. One unfortunately couldn't make it tonight, but we'd like, when I call your name, we'd like you to come up and talk about the building that you've come from, and just thank you tonight for all that you've meant to so many, not only the students, but your colleagues and the community. So we say thank you tonight. We'll start with Teresa Bowyer. Teresa is retiring from what is now Trenton Elementary School. Thank you.
I started at Bayback, and then it was changed, and now it's changed again.
Sheila Brunswick couldn't make it tonight, but I know that I taught or worked with Sheila she started, I believe, at Bayback. Then I worked with her at Bloomfield in the intermediate school. So Sheila, we appreciate you, even though you couldn't be here tonight. Next, we're going to go to Miss Beth Hensley.
Our time together in the middle school. Yes. I've taught a total of 37.42 years, and this is going to be my 38th year because I came back. I love middle school, always have. I bleed blue. I love Edgewood. It's kind of nice looking up and seeing some familiar faces. Lori and I went to college together, and I can remember our professor in Oxford, and I'm sure you remember that day well. He said his only goal was to sue Edgewood before he retired, so that we could no longer pray at our events. So here we are, 37.42 years later, still praying, and that is such a blessing to me, and I just thank God for that. And I know your dad's so proud.
And Mr. Mark Barrett.
Guess I wasn't expecting to speak tonight, but it's been 28 years off the high school, all social studies, almost exclusively American history. I grew up in Middletown. I really didn't know what to expect when I came out here, but you guys have taken good care of the Perrette family, and hopefully whatever I've contributed, it's been worth all the support you've given.
With one of my favorite verses, job well done, good and faithful servant.
Thank you, Mrs. Beckett. Congratulations and good luck to everybody. Hopefully you fill your time with something you enjoy. We'll give Patty a chance to get back up here. Oh, no, she's gonna do it.
I think it's going to, yeah, should be.
You've got it attached to your.
I mean, I moved out of that. She's asked how she goes to her name.
All right, up next we have Ms. Patty Bowers with the financial forecast. I feel like we
Thank
should
you
have
very
some-
much for allowing me to take this opportunity to update you on the financial position of the district. We recently had a change. We used to file this forecast in November and then again in May. And we are now required to file them within 30 days of August. And then we'll update this forecast again in February. So I'll talk really quick about the reason that we do this. First and foremost, it is so that our board has the opportunity to engage with our community for long-term planning, just so that we're all on the same page and know the direction that the school is going. This also serves as a basis for the district to sign off on a 412 certificate. Any contracts that we enter into, such as our ETA and OPC bargaining unit agreements, we have to be able to sign a 412 certificate. That means we are going to make sure that we have the money to fulfill those obligations. So presenting this forecast gives us the opportunity to sign that 412 certificate. This also provides a method for the Department of Education and Workforce, as well as the state auditor, to identify when there are financial problems with the school district. So again, we're going to file this in August. We will have an opportunity to file a supplemental forecast. Jeff and I talked this morning, and I do think that we'll take that opportunity to do that. One of the reasons being, we do not have our county apportionment sheets. So we get our property taxes twice a year. I thought that was coming in September. I did talk with Nancy Nix at the county today. That may not actually happen until October now, but we're waiting for that. We also don't have updated enrollment. Some of you that have been with us for a long time, you may refer back to what they call us an October count week. We don't have the count week anymore, but it takes a little time to get our numbers dialed in. So we get our foundation payment from the state twice a month, and they're still funding us on last year's enrollment. We have been watching this very closely. I hope that we would have 20 or 30 more kids than what we do. We're not there yet, but we do know that we still have some pending that haven't come in to enroll yet. So that enrollment is huge for our state foundation. So we need to watch that to see where to land. And then finally, we had a pretty good turnover here at year end. I don't recall in my 5 years of doing this having this many retirements. So we had a lot of new teachers coming in, and a lot of those have not elected their benefits yet, which benefits almost make up about half as much as what our salaries do. So again, very important pieces of our puzzle missing. So we are likely going to go ahead and do another forecast in November, but still want to take this opportunity to show you where we are as things sit today. Again, I have this disclosure on here. This is based on the information as we have it today. It can and will change. It's changed by $100,000 since yesterday. So just know that this is a moving target, and we update it as information becomes available to us. So first we'll take a look here at our financial analysis. When we started this year out, our cash balance was $11.5 million roughly. Some key indicators here, the projected general fund revenue, and I'll point out as well that this forecast is just general fund. It does not count federal grants or food service fund. This is just general fund. This revenue is projected right now to come in a little better than $42.3 million. Our expenditures are projected to come in at $43.9. In essence, we're going to overspend by about 1.6 based on what we know today. We can take a look here at the revenue. Kind of want to show you where we're getting our money from. That top box there is the projected local tax or property tax, if you will. You can see that that's made up of $11 million. So this is your class 1, class 2 residential, commercial. We also have public utility tax. So if you think of like Duke Energy that's here, Rocky Pipeline monies that come through, that falls in public utility. The projected state funding, and again, highly driven by our enrollment. Fair school funding plan. So this comes in unrestricted and restricted funds. That top line being unrestricted, meaning we have more liberty to do with those funds what we want to. The restricted funds, that is for our gifted, DPIA, our English language learners. So those are specific dollars for a specific purpose. Then that last line there is the state share of local taxes. So we have rollback, homestead, any kind of credits that come through like that on the property tax. The state is giving that back for what we're losing in that property tax for those items. Then the last category here is all other revenue. And this is anything that doesn't fall into one of those two categories. So if you think our pay to participate fees, our interest that comes in, Medicaid monies that we get, donations, tuition from other school districts, anything that is not classified as property tax or state foundation funding goes into that third category there. So state funding does make up almost half of the general fund revenue that we receive. The property tax is about 40 and then 11% on all other revenues. Taking a look here at our expenditure analysis, salary and benefits combined are going to cost roughly $35 million. Purchase service, and I'll talk a little bit about this here. This is anything that gets identified as a 400 object. So as we're contracting with the ESCs, whether that be for school psychologists, professional development, all the way down to our gas and electric bills, water bills, all of those are things that we purchase and make up that second category, falling just under $6 million. And then all other expenditures coming in just under $3 million. So this is all supplies. Also at the end of the year when we have to advance money to those few funds that we have that are negative, you have to put it back in and it goes into there. So that's not a completely black and white number there because we had such a large advance last year. Also, that bottom line there, we do have $300,000 that we push out of general fund each year into an 035, and that's to pay for severance for retirements. And then I have 400 out there, and fingers crossed that we won't have to advance as much here at the end of the year. This is just an overview here, and again, you can tell looking at the bars side by side with the blue bars being our revenue and the expenditures, inflation's getting us. So, of course, the expenditures are going to outpace the revenue, it just happens. And then over to the right, you can see what happens to the cash balance because expenditures outpace the revenue. This here is historical. So historically, the revenue has averaged about 4.7%, and that's fallen somewhat. Again, we're seeing less money come in from the state. A lot of this is due to declining enrollment. And you can see the historical change in expenses, and we know that our costs are going up. Every school district is telling the same story. This is a look at our calendar days cash on hand. We ended 2026 with 99 days. This year about 83 days. And then in 28 we have 43 days cash on hand. So we do see here within the forecast period, we're facing a deficit there out in 2029 that we're working through now. So this is our educated enrollment. I would like to explain this here. So when we look at our numbers, it looks like to us that we have 3297. When we look at it today, our educated enrollment in 26 was 2972, and like I said, we're neck and neck with where we were last year, but like we had 135 students roughly going to the JDS, that funding follows them. This year, we're increasing from 135 to 160 that we know of right now. Again, that funding is going to follow them. We also have students here that take satellite courses. Each one of those satellite courses where they're instructed by a JDS teacher, we lose 14% for those classes. We also have some students that maybe they're here half day because they're CCP or some other reason. That's why the educated enrollment, it doesn't show a head count. So I just wanted to explain the difference there between head count and enrollment. This is our per pupil general fund expenditures. And again, you see that inflation. If you look back to 2026, our general fund expenditures come in at $14,200 per student. This year we're projecting $14,600. But this would have been a lot higher. And anyone who has listened to our story as we've talked over the last several years, up until this year, it has been cut. So we're not doing that this year. We'll see what happens when we get to the end of the year, but this would have been a much worse picture than what it is had we not have made the changes that we did and opted to make those cuts. So we're trying things a little bit different and hoping that we're putting the best product out here for our student. But I think for the variance there and the cost, we've done a lot here with a little. Last year, our daily cost to educate a student was $79. This year, we're projecting $81. Again, where are you going to go and take your kid to a daycare at $81 a day? I will just continue to say this is a big bang for your buck. Over on the right side, you can see the big orange portion there. That's all the federal, state taxes. They pay 78% of that daily rate that we're paying, and that 22% falls on our local capacity or our community to make up the balance of that. This is an overview of the revenues, and I hope I've blown this up enough here where you can see it. Our revenue is basically flat right now. I do want to talk a little bit in the other operating revenues. That does look a little bit inflated, but we have reason to believe with Privileges moving in, we have kind of a commitment with them, if you will, that they are going to pay us a one-time pilot payment of $940,000. Because I have that in writing and they're telling me roughly December, maybe January, I have included that. I see them building. I have every reason to believe that we're going to get that revenue, so I have included it in here. God forbid anything should happen and it come out. But if so, then that's about $1 million there that we won't have in 27, or it could be pushed out to 28. I have tried to go back there and look around, but they've got it blocked off. You can only get back so far, but progress is happening back there. I did get some initial numbers from the Marconi Farm, and we thought we would see a handful of houses back there this year. I was told that there were some delays on the front end, so now that's pushed out until next year. Not a lot in that first year, but out in that second year, we'll start seeing some more. They're anticipating 5 years out that the school will get about $377,000 a year, but we'll see when it gets here. So you can see again what the general property tax, public utility tax, we don't have an income tax. We've talked about the unrestricted and restricted funds from the state, and that we spend based on what they tell us that we can spend, and then those all other revenues. But if you just see the big picture, our revenue is kind of flat. Like I said, we used to file a 5-year forecast. We're now only required to file a 3-year, so it's your current 27, 28, 29, and 30. I left this 31, that's just for me to have a better understanding of the direction that we're heading.
This is a look at our expenditures. And again, like I told you, our personnel services make up our biggest expense here at about 80%. Purchase service right behind that, supplies and materials, very little bit. And we just started working actually earlier this week on a capital plan. We believe that we're going to be able to take care of most of our capital needs through PI fund. So we have $100,000 out there, but again, we'll see where that lands, but we think we've got all this covered with PI. And then other objects, just comes in at about $500,000. You can see those transfers out, and again, that top line, that's what we're putting out to pay severance for our retirement. And then advancing money out again, about $400,000, that's what I'm projecting. We need to bump up our revenues from our food service to make this a reality, so we're hoping to see some improvement with that this year. But knowing that we'll probably have to cover some funds. You've heard me say before, you can't close these out negative. And again, the state and the county, they're gonna make sure that you have that here, so that's why we earmark it here on this forecast, so they see that we have a plan. This line here, 6.010, that is the difference in the revenue that you receive versus the revenue that you spend. We actually had $170,000 left at the end of last year. Again, we put a lot of hard work into doing that and delaying some purchases to make that happen. Cutting 1.6, that's probably not a reality here. We're gonna work on it and see how we can dial that down, but that's our reality. It's deficit spend throughout the forecast. 7.010 is our cash balance that we start with at the beginning of the year. So like I said there, in fiscal 27, we're starting with 11.5 million, and you can see with the expenditures outpacing our revenue, how that cash just kind of dwindles away. That bottom line there is the cash balance at June, so the start of the fiscal year to the end of the fiscal year. And this is what we use to certify. So I'm going to be coming to the board again with a certificate to file the appropriations with the county. So it's not just the state that oversees our revenue. We have to itemize every fund that we have, the revenue that we have, the anticipated revenue, any encumbrances that we had carried over from the prior year, as well as what we anticipate spending. Those get sent off to the county. So once the board approves it, the county approves it, then it comes back, and that's our permission to spend and move forward. This is what we use to do that. So again, you can see what our fund balance was there in 26, where we anticipate in 27 and 28, and then our cash runs out there in 29. I have on here in 11.010, a lot of you may recall that we passed a substitute levy back in 25. That levy is set to expire. It was just a 5-year levy, and that 1.49 million represents what happens when that levy falls off. This is a 5-year average annual change. Again, you can see with inflation there that's huge for us. It's outpacing our revenues, and a projected annual change. The average projected annual expenditure change is greater than inflation. The county is also using inflation now in calculating our tax rates. So that's something else that we're going to have to watch with our property tax. And then here I just have some key takeaways. So property tax reform has weakened our local revenue capacity. We have, and right now still appear to be dealing slightly with declining enrollment, which affects our foundation funding formulas and reduces our state support. The district has controlled the cost, but our revenue losses are still driving future deficits. Cash balances are declining, and that does increase our risk over time. This forecast highlights the need for early planning, which we are doing, transparency and informed decision-making. And again, this is what we have as we know it today. As we learn more, we're going to come back and share with you, and we'll continue to update this as more information becomes available.
Thank you, Patty.
Does anyone have any questions? If they come up, please email us.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, next we have, our new superintendent, Mr. Madden, with the Student Wellness and Success Plan.
Put that up there.
You are.
Yeah, so.
Just to kind of build off of Patty's presentation, we get a little less than $1 million in success in wellness and disadvantaged pupil impact aid. That's DPIA is what school will often call it. It's really based on free and reduced lunch numbers when it comes to the amount of money that we get there. This has been funding, I can't attest to how many years, but probably 4 to 6 years of funding. In order for, part of the requirement is that we're supposed to present to the public, to the board, what we plan to spend these funds on. We actually have a plan, it's on our website. Patty and I were looking at that plan, and we thought it was just a little insufficient, and we wanted to be more transparent to the board and to the community on what these funds are allocated for. I think what happened is that we had the funds come in, and we had just given a presentation that kind of seemed very similar, and so we kind of used that as our way to say this is our presentation. Dusting that off a little bit, specifically, we put that money into 4 areas, which is going to be in our school counselors, our health specialists, SROs, and the virtual academy. So that money is going to go to salaries in those buckets. Depending on how much money we get, we may cover more of that salary. It does not cover all of those salaries, but we've allocated, earmarked those funds in those 2 categories to cover those pieces. And beyond that, there's a requirement to have some partnerships in the community that helps kind of wrap around, support the whole child, and those are some of those partnerships that do that. So this money is supposed to support the whole child in terms of that mental health piece, that physical health piece, and just prepare for success for those students who may be at risk. So that kind of checks the mark to make sure we meet the requirement of the state on what the funds are for. Any questions on that piece?
How do they delineate amount per school? Is it based on enrollment? Is it based on need?
And I hate to defer to Patty on that one, she can speak more. I know that it's going to be based off the free and reduced number of students on free and reduced lunch, or the DPIA funds. I can't speak to
Enrollment
success.
does play a part in that.
You said that.
Okay.
That's all I've got.
Well, thank you. That is all of the presentations. We have no one signed up for public participation. So we'll move right into treasure items if you're ready.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm ready.
All right.
Okay. I would like to ask for a motion to approve item A, which is the board meeting minutes from July 27th, as well as the board meeting minutes from the special meeting on August 13th, please.
Is there a motion to approve the block of A and B board minutes from July and August meetings? Ms. Barnes, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Fall. Mrs. Bowers, will you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Barnes?
Yes.
Mr. Fall?
Yes.
Mrs. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Messerschmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Next, I'd like to ask to block items C, D, and E. This is the July 2026 financial reports, the financial forecast, and the permanent certificate of estimated resources and appropriations.
Is there a motion to approve the block of C, D, and E, the financial reports as presented?
So moved.
Mr. Thomas, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Fall. Is there any discussion on this item? Ms. Bowers? What?
To the positive again.
Mrs. Bowers, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Fall?
Yes.
Mrs. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mrs. Barnes?
Yes.
Mr. Messerschmidt?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. The next agenda item is a BWC settlement agreement.
Is there a motion to approve the BWC settlement agreement as presented?
So moved.
Mr. Fall, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Thomas? Is there any discussion on this item? Mrs. Bowers, you call the roll, please?
Mr. Fall?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Mrs. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mrs. Barnes?
Yes.
And Mr. Messerschmidt?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. I'd like to ask next for a motion to approve the Butler County ESC MOU as presented.
Is there a motion to approve the Butler County ESC MOU as presented?
So moved.
Mr. Messerschmidt, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Thomas? I can't tell you guys apart down there from the weekend. Is there any discussion on this item? Mrs. Bowers, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Messerschmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Mrs. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mrs. Barnes?
Yes.
And Mr. Fall?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. I'd like to ask next for a motion to approve the NWEA quote as presented.
Is there a motion to approve the NWEA quote as presented?
So moved.
Mr. Messerschmidt, is there a second?
Second.
Mrs. Barnes? Is there any discussion on this item?
Can we just get a high level overview of what this is?
Mrs. Beckett?
Yes, it is an adaptive assessment that we give to our students kindergarten through grade 10. And what it does is it shows their growth and achievement. We get it 3 times a year, and we're able to see where there's deficits. We use that then to inform instruction, change what we're teaching. So for us to be able to use our money to purchase this it's a game changer.
Good. Thank you.
Mrs. Bowers, you call the roll, please?
Mr. Messerschmidt?
Lord, do you have something good?
Yeah, I guess I just wanted to ask, I know we've went over a lot of different curriculums that you've presented. So those curriculums don't come with an assessment per se. This, in essence, helps assess them.
Yes, and it checks across, we're measured against other students across the country. And because of the nature of these assessments, there's the other tests and things that you get with your curriculum, sometimes they're kind of biased toward that product. This is just an overall company who, that's their job. They are checking students everywhere to see how they're doing. So this gives us a very valid assessment to see how we're doing. It also lets us know what they project, how we'll look when we take our state assessments.
Okay.
So if you've got holes and gaps in your curriculum, it'll point it out, so we can go back and
So the curriculums we do purchase usually do come with some sort of check and assessment.
Yes,
This is
absolutely.
almost another one on top of it.
yes.
Kevin, these are nationally known tests, so I heard Lori say it. I mean, like this is the world teachers live in terms of, this is how we identify gifted students, I would assume, across that national slice of how are our kids doing. And it's predictive behavior too. We can kind of see, are we on track or not on track?
Thank you.
Mrs. Bowers, you call the roll, please?
Mr. Messerschmidt?
Yes.
Mrs. Barnes?
Yes.
Mrs. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Fall?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. The next agenda item is the Weibel proposals. I could get a motion to approve those, please.
Is there a motion to approve the Weibel proposals as presented?
So moved.
Mr. Fall, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Thomas. Is there discussion on this item?
Yeah, this is similar to what we had seen before with some of those units, right? But as they got in there, they realized there was some other issues going on, is that correct?
Another compressor went out since the first proposal, so, and they're in banks, and like the first banks run, then when it gets overpowered, the other ones kick in, so one of the bank, I think it was in bank 2, all 4 compressors in bank 1 were down, so it was going on down.
Because they're weighted, right? The way I understood it is they have certain banks that they rely on more heavily, which is why those needed some definitely attention. And we were hoping, once those got up to speed, it would delay the maintenance on the others, but.
Right.
Okay.
In the process of repairing those first modules, those early banks, a compressor in bank 2 was also out, down deficient, so that's to be replaced. And just other things, like small items in terms of trying to extend the life of the system to get us another 5 to 10 years out of it before we have to replace the whole system.
You may not know this, but when we replace it with another geothermal, or would we look at doing something more conventional?
Probably more conventional would be the recommendation of most of the people that have looked at this, and the opinions of the company and multiple companies, probably a traditional system.
Is there any other discussion? Mrs. Bowers, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Fall,
Yes.
Mr. Thomas,
Yes.
Mrs. Ashcraft.
Yes.
Mrs. Barnes.
Yes.
Mr. Messerschmidt.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. The next agenda item are 2 huddle quotes. I'd like to have a motion to approve those, please.
Is there a motion to approve the huddle quotes as presented?
So moved.
Mr. Thomas, second, Mr. Messerschmidt. Is there any discussion on these 2 items?
They're paid out of the athletic fund, if you need to know that.
Okay.
Do we make any money off of this?
For Mr. Clemens votes.
I hear his voice, there he is.
Sorry.
You want to talk about huddle?
This is where we counsel the sports teams, games, so like volleyball, slam night, soccer, that records all the games, but then the coaches, send it all these stats, players can make highlight films of themselves. The calls went up a little bit because when all was before we added the cameras to the middle school, so the middle school volleyball team, middle school football, and basketball teams, and we got to move some of the varsity games over to the middle school. We have those games filmed also.
Is there any further discussion? Mrs. Bowers, you call the roll, please.
Mr. Thomas,
Yes.
Mr. Messerschmidt,
Yes.
Mrs. Ashcraft.
Yes.
Mrs. Barnes.
Yes.
And Mr. Fall.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. The next agenda item, I would like to ask for a motion to approve the impractical transportation and payment in lieu as presented.
Is there a motion to approve the transportation payment in lieu as presented?
So moved.
Mr. Messerschmidt, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Fall. Is there any discussion on this item? Right. Mrs. Bowers, you call the roll, please.
Mr. Messerschmidt,
Yes.
Mr. Fall,
Yes.
Mrs. Ashcraft.
Yes.
Mrs. Barnes.
Yes.
And Mr. Thomas.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. The next agenda item, I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the mileage reimbursement rate as presented.
Is there a motion to approve the mileage reimbursement rate as presented?
So moved.
Mr. Messerschmidt, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Thomas. Is there any discussion on this item?
Our board policy says we will go with the IRS rate, and it went up, so that's.
That mirrors the federal rate.
All right, Ms. Bowers, you call the roll, please.
Mr. Messerschmidt,
Yes.
Mr. Thomas,
Yes.
Mrs. Ashcraft.
Yes.
Mrs. Barnes.
Yes.
And Mr. Cole.
Yes.
That motion carries 5-0. I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the donations as presented.
Is there a motion to approve the donations as presented?
So moved.
Mr. Fall, is there a second?
Yes.
Mrs. Barnes? Is there any discussion on this item?
We read off who these all came from.
Sure. You wanna read them off?
You want me to read them or
Yep.
you want to read them? We have a lot. So first was for Trenton Elementary School, and this, we have $50 for school supplies from Aaron Roberts at Scotty's Tavern, $100 for Trenton Elementary School supplies from Gary Shank, $100 from Trenton Elementary, from Bob Knight at Our Place, $200 for Trenton Elementary School supplies from Del Ragnor, Trenton Heating and Air, $200 for Trenton Elementary School supplies from Trenton Moose Lodge. There were backpacks and miscellaneous school supplies by Mount Olivet Presbyterian Church. $2,000 for Edgewood Cheer from Chamberlain Athletics. $250 for Edgewood Football from AST Enterprises. $250 for Edgewood Football from El Barzon Restaurant. $1,000 for Edgewood Football from Trenton Moose Lodge. $1,000 for Edgewood Football from TNT Sells. Car wash supplies and space for the girls volleyball team that was donated by Superwash. And then finally, we have $1,250 for the Edgewood Athletic Department from Ohio High School Athletics Association.
It's very generous, thank you.
Yes, thank
I
you.
have a question. When the OSSAs are donating to schools money, what was that for?
So that was a fair share, they say down, Mr. Thomas, at the end of the year, they're a nonprofit, so once they close their books, every school receives money from the OSSA.
Tell them we want more.
We get our fair share.
All right. Ms. Bowers, will you call roll, please?
Mr. Fall?
Yes.
Mrs. Barnes?
Yes.
Mrs. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Messerschmidt?
Yes.
And Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0, and that is all I have for this evening.
All right, thank you. Next, we will move into superintendent items. Mr. Madden?
Got two items I want to cover. One is bus routes for the 26-27 school year. This is a requirement by the state that we get our bus stops approved by the Board of Education. They do change here and there. We're finalizing those things, but within the first 30 days of school, we have to get approval for where we are. So we'll start with that one, getting that approval.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the bus routes for school year 26-27 as presented?
So moved.
Mr. Fall, is there a second?
Second.
Mrs. Barnes? Is there any discussion on this item?
I
You
know
guys don't want to do it yourself?
some of our goal was to reduce time on buses. How has that compared to last year? I know you might be a little okay.
It's never a great time to bring up transportation in the first 2 weeks of school. And so I don't have a great answer. And I say that I think we've reduced time, but I also want to be, aware that it is a difficult first couple of weeks to perfect those timings and that. So at the next board meeting or before, I'll email the board and give an update on where we are. Worst time last year to kind of worst time this year. But we'll be better. But there are some pieces we're working through right now.
I've got your phone calls, so I don't know if anybody else has got them.
And I have, and oddly I haven't, but I've talked to some principals and they've shared that some parents are, recognizing that there's some pain out there when it comes to bus stops.
Okay. All right, Mrs. Bowers, you call the roll, please.
Mr. Fall?
Yes.
Mrs. Barnes?
Yes.
Mrs. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Messerschmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
All right, next.
Next item are some policies for approval. We did a first reading last month, and these are policies on the use of credit cards that was presented for first reading at last month. I say policies, it looks like it's one policy in there.
Is there a motion to approve the board policy for approval as presented?
So moved.
Mr. Messerschmidt, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Thomas? Is there any discussion on this item?
I see the limit for the overall account, but are there limits that someone can't use the card for that entire amount?
Well, they have to have a purchase order before they get a credit card, so we do have that in place. The only change in this is we didn't have on our policy for and then we want those cards back. Preferably the next business day, but within 2 days, you should have that card back to us. We're coming after it if you don't.
So you guys house the credit cards?
Yes.
It's not in the buildings?
No, they
like
are
the
locked over there. You
secretary
come
there.
and sign them out, and you sign them back in with your receipt.
Notice the change in the contract on page 7, so do we note that in our motion, or is that? Mine's crossed through, that's 30, and it says 2, and that's changed.
Yeah, that just shows what our current policy is, and then that's the new
Okay.
policy.
That should have been on the first reading, correct?
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, okay, so I just.
So you're,
Okay. I know what it is, I just want to make sure that you don't have to do it like that. Motion.
Yeah. All right, Mrs. Bowers, you call roll, please.
Mr. Messerschmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Mrs. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mr. Fall?
Yes.
And Mrs. Barnes?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Anything
Information.
else?
Just a few things about the start of the school year. First of all, our hearts are still with the young family and the friends who are grieving the loss of Mason. It's a tough start for the entire community when it comes to that. And with that said, I will say I also think people are coming together, supporting our soccer team, supporting the students that are affected and the family that are affected. But so certainly still with us is grieving Mason. With that, our opening day with staff was it was heartfelt. I think we had a good message. Mark spoke at that, and his words I think landed very well with our staff. And we ended it with the marching band and the cheerleaders coming on. We started it with the chorus singing the national anthem, and it was a great start. And it was a great ending with those student groups. And it was kind of cool to see the Edgewood family, come together in one place and celebrate the start of school, despite a challenging situation. And I'm going to end on this, maybe the start of school. We've had some support from police and fire in those first few days in our community schools, with Trenton being back to Trenton Elementary School and 7 Mile being 7 Mile Elementary School. So we had police and fire there. They were invited to opening day, and we had both entities show up at opening day. So there's a good feel out there. And I went to a Butler Tech meeting today. The governor was there, and a couple of, I think, highlights that I thought were interesting from that. One is that Ohio is the #1 state for business right now, according to some poll that was out there. They touted that pretty big. So a lot of great opportunities for kids that lie ahead. One of the speakers talked about how the old days it was a ladder to college, and now it really should be a jungle gym of all these different avenues and platforms for kids to get attached to. And just seeing the FFA today being presented here, it reminded me of that jungle gym. I hear that I think that's the volleyball team, they're screaming in the gym because they've got a game. And we saw the marching band perform on opening day. So we are a jungle gym, I think. I'm new on the job, but I see that jungle gym that exists for our kids. And it's just not one path. It's just not one ladder to a future. It is a lot of different opportunities for kids. We want to grow those opportunities for kids, and then that way they can really discover who they are and where they want to be in 5-10 years. Trying to think what else. I also want to highlight some folks in the audience, some of the retirees. Teresa was here. She said her start was Baybeck. My start here at Edgewood as a kid was Baybeck. So that was kind of an interesting. I see Mrs. Hensley, 6th grade. She was my 6th grade teacher. And I was a pretty quiet kid. But she saw me at the end of the year. She goes, I think I remember you. You had red hair. I did have red hair at one point. Mr. Pratt, he's retiring at 28 years. He was coming in as I was leaving. And I remember this big, tall, giant guy on the basketball court playing with us, and he had a presence. I didn't get to have him as a teacher, but it's kind of interesting to see that. And lastly, former teacher, he cut me from the 7th grade basketball team. This is my stage, Mr. Johnson. But he says, we joke about that. It was one of the best decisions, really, probably that he made. Well, he should have got someone else, but nonetheless, for me, it actually was a true learning opportunity because I never played, and I actually became a player, somewhat of a player, a few years down the road. So I just want to appreciate his presence and support here. And with that, that's all my comments. It's been obviously a challenging start, but we have supported. We're coming together as one to just pick up the work that we ended the year with.
Okay. Well, thank you. All right, next we have items from board members. Mr. Thomas, you want to go?
Okay.
Okay.
First of all, ditto to what everything that Mr. Madden said about opening day. That was awesome. Would like to congratulate Leanne Smith, Parapro Media Specialist over here for Classified Employee of the Year, and Rachel Anderson, who's also an English teacher, and also organizes our homecoming every year as a teacher of the year. So that was a nice reward. And then tons of 5-year, 10-year. I think got up to 30. Do we have a 35-year this year? Okay. So lots of awards passed out. Would like to graduate to retirement. Have spent time. He's already left. Mr. Pratt and I used to spend a lot of time together because he was an assistant coach for years. Man, a few words, but when they come out, you better listen. And so he was good. I'm not talking much about this because most of it, a lot of kudos to Lori Barnes here, but I'll be quiet on the festival. But she did launch the QR code this week. She's got out there, which basically is to start building an alumni database. Lori did nice form and everything, and it got launched. And I've been trying to help out by searching out current alumni that may have big bases that we can send to. Scotty's already sent the whole thing out to 331 football alumni. I sent something to Gary Page today because I know he did a class reunion. He had a couple hundred names on that. Sent to Dan Sewell. We're looking for, if anybody knows who Jill Barbosa is, that would be really nice because we found her with the Facebook with 1,100 alumni people, friends on there. But the whole plan is to reach out to, first of all, get a database of alumnus and then start keeping them informed of Edgewood, start highlighting them, and then see where it takes off from there. But just great job of this lady over here getting some things organized on that. Last, we did have a good meeting on some PI stuff, and I think everything's pretty much, HVAC still needs some work as far as going around checking the equipment is in a variety of ages. We got some chillers that may be 7 or 8 years old, some chillers that are maybe 19, 20, so we got to get our arms around that. Obviously, when you anticipate purchasing something like that, you go by age, but you don't necessarily do it. For example, if it's not broke, don't fix it, but you can get a good idea. That's what you're seeing right now with this geothermal. It's hard to believe that we've been here 14 years now. It's real hard to believe. So, but that was a good meeting. I thought we got a lot accomplished to help project for the next 5 years where we're going to be.
Thank you. Mr. Paul?
I don't have much. I know I try to keep everybody updated on all the financial stuff at the state, and thank you to Patty for preparing the information, not only to present here to the board and to the public, but also digging into it every single day. And many people before me, even up here, that made some decisions to hopefully put us in the best possible position to put a product forward. and that takes a lot of work. But an article put out in Columbus on that statewide cost share on that funding, it historically has never been below 40%. And this next year, I know in 24 it's 43%, and the last fiscal year is 35%. It's projected to be 32%. So we continue to get those pressures from that state funding. And I do feel there's going to be a lot of questions answered, hopefully here between now and November, and a very short few months after that. So please stay in touch and keep in tune to some of that state funding and how it relates to our educational system here locally. So that's what I have to update.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Barnes.
Well, I just want to piggyback on what John was sharing with the alumni thing, and thank you, Josh Stapleton, for doing that, because my attempt failed. So I'm glad you did it for me. So thank you so much for that. But the Pickin' in the Park festival that we participated in Saturday, the theme of it was a bluegrass music festival, and it was knowing your roots. So they called and asked us to share the roots of how we became Edgewood City Schools. And so that was really fun. I couldn't believe John looked for me, but we couldn't find a hard copy of the charter that was written when the school was formed, was consolidated. So Scott Clemens and I, we were trying to take pictures and put them in AI, and it's like, forget this. We pulled a kid out of band practice. He tried to show us, and it was like, you're talking to two old people, we can't do it. So I ended up taking just 12 different pictures of that plaque out here. And I retyped it up. We came in and we got pictures of Heritage Hall here. Then I retyped all of the scenarios and the history that came from each school district. I learned a lot. I had no clue until I actually walked in here a couple years ago that 7 Mile had 2 mascots because it was 2 different schools at one time. So that was just really, really fun, getting that. And we caught a rainstorm, and John's only thing was to protect the 2 glass pictures frames that I took out of the board office. And I'm proud to say John was able to do that for me. His hands, yes, his hands. But so thanks to Jeff, and well, Patty's like, just take them. And I'm like, no, I have to ask Jeff first. So thanks to that, and Scott, you guys helping us track down easels. I think Curtis, you were able to track us down easels. So we did survive the windstorm. But we do have booklets if anybody would want to know that. I have it all. I'd be glad to pass them out. I don't have them with me tonight, but email me and I'll give them to you. And kudos to Mrs. Beckett and whoever put on all the PD. I know as a former teacher, a lot of times we grumble when we see the PD list come out. But just looking, there was something for every department. And you know, when you think about it, it takes everybody to run a school. It's not just the teachers. It's just not an admin, it's everybody. So I was just really glad that there was things on educational policy, government policies, the medical thing, because yeah, I knew we billed sometimes for those things, but I didn't understand all of that, what goes into that. So there was a little bit for everybody, and it does take everybody to be able to bring the best for our kids. So just thank you guys that put that all together.
Thank you. Mr. Messerschmidt.
Yeah, I'd just like to recognize Mayor Missy Mick from 7 Mile during some of the storms we had over the last several weeks. We had a pretty good sized tree at our 7 Mile Elementary that got knocked over, and she sent a road crew over to clean it up for us before we had a chance to do anything with it. So very appreciative that she was able to do that for us. That just kind of shows, the relationship that we're hoping to have with our communities, and she did us right by doing that. I don't talk about FFA because I know I steal your thunder. Scott, thank you for bringing them in here. But we talked about what they do over the summer. I really want to recognize John Arnold and our band. They got an opportunity to perform for the Reds game. I believe it was July the 31st. And then they participated in several things over the summer. I got to see them in the Hamilton 4th of July parade. So some really good work by our band students and John Arnold and his crew on what they do. You know, we talked a little bit about phone calls the first couple of weeks of school, and you know, I usually get those calls. I've had none. You know, we talked a lot about the opening day already. Generally, the feedback that I got was this was the best opening day that we've had in however many years. So a lot of positive feedback. I think last year we came off of probably the best school year that I personally feel like we've had since I've been on the board. And I feel like we're carrying that momentum very strong into this year. And then Kevin, it's always nice to see you. Good to see you here tonight. I was surprised to see you walk in, but I'm glad you're here. So I feel like we got a lot of momentum, and I hope we can maintain it. We got a healthy representation from our staff and our administrators here tonight. So thank you guys for being involved. This is our district, and it takes all of us.
Can I say one more thing?
You can.
Kudos to the building principals that have the littles. I got to experience preschool line drop off today. You guys are saints. You are well-oiled machines, and I am so glad that they do it. And I was shocked because I got in the drop-off line at like 8:25. But man, we got up there quick. It was like boom, 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 and they go out. And so that was it was smoother than I anticipated. So thank you, the elementary teachers, for getting that drop-off line going.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say welcome to Mr. Madden. This is his first official meeting as our superintendent. And thank you to Curtis Philpott for carrying us through and getting us on a good path. We've talked about it a lot tonight. Patty kind of alluded to it, how we cut. And we, at Mr. Philpott's direction and suggestion, we kind of took on a new idea that most boards, I think, probably looked at us and thought we were crazy. But everybody up here has supported him, and I think Mr. Madden supports that, I don't know what you want to call it, that path to give the district, the community, the best district that we can. And I think we've really taken off on that, and hopefully the community will appreciate that, not just cutting, because everybody around us is cutting, and we've taken a different path, and I think we're all kind of excited about it, and I'm glad that Mr. Madden supports continuing that path. So, and I'm officially passing the torch. So I don't have any kids in school anymore, and I don't think it's fair that I keep hogging the FFA. So I'm passing that to Mr. Fall, and Mark, if you want to talk about it, you're allowed now. So I know what FFA has meant to my family, and it's incredible. I always say that I raised my girls from kindergarten to 8th, and Ms. Beiser took them over from 9th to 12th because they were horrible, but she did a great job with them. And they have turned out to be very good adults and community citizens. So I think she has a lot to do with that, and I would encourage anyone to encourage their child to take FFA at Edgewood. So, but I am going to officially pass the torch, so I'll have to find something else to talk about. So, that's all I have for tonight. Does anybody else have anything? Are you accepting of that torch?
I'll do my best.
Okay. Is your daughter FFA?
She is not.
You should make her.
My daughter is not FFA material.
Oh. All right. Well, with that, we are going to look for a motion to go into executive session to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official, or the investigation of charges or complaints against the public employee, official, licensee, or regulated individual, unless the employee, official, licensee, or registered individual requests a public hearing by division G1 of section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. Is there a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Mr. Messerschmidt, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Fall. Ms. Bowers, you call the roll, please.
Mr. Messerschmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Fall?
Yes.
Mrs. Ashcraft?
Yes.
Mrs. Barnes?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0 at 7:14 p.m.
All right, we're back in regular session.
903.
Yes. Is there a motion to approve the personnel items as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Messerschmidt, Mr. Fall.
Mr. Messerschmidt.
Yes.
Mr. Fall.
Yes.
Mrs. Ashcraft.
Yes.
Mrs. Barnes.
Yes.
Mr. Thomas.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
At this point, we'll look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Mr. Messerschmidt.
Second.
Mr. Fall.
Mr. Messerschmidt.
Yes.
Mr. Fall.
Yes.
Mrs. Ashcraft.
Yes.
Mrs. Barnes.
Yes.
Mr. Thomas.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 903.
9:03.